Tiki Barber's here, as if I had to tell you who he was. He's an NBC News contributor and former New York Giants great running back. Good morning, Tiki.
Good morning, Willie.
Tiki, we've been talking politics, you and I have. I got to ask you, athletes, I figured they're all Republicans. You get rich, you make a lot of money, you don't want to pay taxes. Isn't that the way it works?
It's interesting because a lot of athletes grow up in depressed socioeconomic conditions. So by nature, they need the social programs. Their parents are probably Democrats. They grow up Democratic. And then all of a sudden, they start making some money, and it becomes, wait, I don't like these taxes. I need to keep some of that money. But it's an interesting dynamic how it works in politics. A lot of athletes aren't involved, but I think they're starting to get more engaged as they've gotten older, but also as they've seen this new energy come to the process, mainly because of Barack Obama. Remember when Tiger Woods came onto the PGA Tour? It was a white-dominated sport, and all of a sudden, African Americans and other minorities started taking interest. And I think a lot, whatever your political leanings are, a lot can be said about Barack Obama bringing new, young blood to this political process, and people have interest in it.
So it's across the board, including athletes. And you say early on, though, there was some hesitancy to jump on Obama. Why is that?
Well, I don't know if there's hesitancy. But black people have skepticism in this country. They see something happening. They see an African American starting to achieve, and it's, he'll get knocked off. That won't happen. I read this article in Ebony magazine over the weekend, and it was titled "Afraid to Hope," because they see the message that Barack is saying. They believe in what he's saying, but they don't believe that it'll get to the ultimate fruition because of the history of this country, because of what happened in the 60s and some of the oppressions that they went through. They don't believe that the time has come. But I think in a lot of instances, it is becoming their time.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were talking to people today, Tim Russert, a week from today, it could be okay to hope now. He may be the Democratic nominee.
And I think that's a great thing for this process. A lot of people, whether you're Democratic or Republican, they'll look at it and they'll start paying attention, and they'll say, yeah, maybe I like Barack Obama because he's an African American, but maybe I'll look at some issues more in depth than I used to. And it won't just be a race thing. It won't just be a money thing. It'll be, does this issue pertain to me, and I can get involved in this process somehow.
I've always been so interested. I'm a huge sports fan, as you know. The relationship between athletes and politics, because Michael Jordan famously said he would never announce who he supported because Republicans buy Nikes too, is what he said. Isn't there a little of that,
it's hard. It's funny because people have said this to me all the time. You should get into politics. You have a great way about yourself. And I said, you know what? I don't know if I can be hated by half the people just because of what my party is.
That's right.
And that happens sometimes. You've seen some athletes get involved in it. Steve Largent, J.C. Watts is a famous congressman who was an athlete that got involved in it. I played with a guy, Jack Brewer, a couple of years ago for the New York Giants. He now works for Merrill Lynch. And because of this hope speech that Barack gave, he's heavily engaged. He's starting to get, he's sending text messages, trying to get other athletes involved in the political process because it is important to them whether they're Republican or Democratic.
Well, it sounds like it's working. I know you don't want to come down because everybody buys Escalades too. I know what you got, Tiki. Tiki, great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for joining us.